Hey guys, BJ the Brave here, back with another Warpforge reveal for you today. As we all know from the roadmap that was released by EG earlier, was it this week or last week? Either way, we know that there's lots of cool stuff coming in 2024, and starting out with the reinforcement drop for the Ultramarines. So today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into 5 or 6 cards. You should, if you haven't already seen, you should have already seen the first reveal that came out. That was over on the Ecclesiarch's channel. If you haven't seen that, obviously head there to see the full set. Now, the really exciting news is that this reveal is going to lead to new cards being as part of a raid. So anyone who was around for the Chaos reveal, you'll know that we went through a 2-week raid. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this time it's only going to be a 1-week raid. And the really great news is it is out this Thursday. That is absolutely insane, guys. Today is Tuesday the 25th. And that basically means that in 2 days, on Thursday the 27th, you should be playing the Ultramarine raid. Alright, so with that said, I just want to say, by the way, how cool is that roadmap? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year, and super pumped for the ladder system. The revamped ladder system just cannot come soon enough for me. Okay, so let's dive into the cards that we are getting for the Ultramarines. So the first card that we've got for you is the Rapid Deployment. It's a 2 energy stratagem, and it says choose a troop in your hand, lower its cost by 2. Now, I'm not really sure what I'm missing about this. Please tell me in the comments, because I cannot figure it out for love nor money. But basically, this reads to me like you pay 2 energy to reduce the cost of something that costs 2 energy. Where's the discount? I'm probably really stupid, but I just can't understand what the purpose of this card is. So when the penny drops, I'm sure I'm going to feel like an absolute idiot, but I've just been honest with you guys. I don't know what this card is meant to do. Anyway, that's the first card that we've got for you. So there we go. Moving on to the next stratagem is the Armored Offensive. It says create 3 Ultramarine vehicles in your hand, and they cost 1 less. Now, what I love about this card is that we're seeing some extra support for the vehicle archetype, which is, let's be honest, it's an archetype that people have long been asking to be improved, and I think it's like a fun one that people want to play more of. So this basically is the card draw for that archetype. It means that you could play it in a Uriel deck, for example, not just the warlords that draw cards like Tigarius and Calgar. And yeah, obviously it's 3 random Ultramarine vehicles. You don't know what you're going to get, but then again, it's still, there aren't loads of different vehicles, so it's probably going to get some good stuff out of it. And of course, really importantly, they cost 1 less, so pretty good value. It's kind of like, almost makes this feel like it costs 2 energy in a way, because it's discounting 3 cards by 1. That's one way you could look at it. But the cards are random. So yeah, it's quite an interesting card. Alright, moving on. So we already did the Rapid Deployment. The Stormspeeder Hailstrike. Now this is a flying unit. It's 6 energy with 6 health, not bad for flying. Obviously that forces our opponent mainly to trade against our range attack, of which we have 5 power, and we only have 2 melee attack. It's not as important with a flyer. And Codex says deal 1 damage to all enemies, which includes the Warlord. So we obviously had Storm Raven for 4, which does 2 damage. We had the Dreadnought at 8 energy, and this gives us another AoE in the Ultramarines, and I think that's really good, especially a slightly cheaper option to have AoE. Now, I don't know how good the card is overall. Flying with 6 health and 5 range is not terrible at 6. It's certainly not like towards the top end, but it has got a very good Codex ability, and of course that can be triggered multiple times. So I'm not sure how I rate this, but I'm excited about the fact that Marines have got more AoE at their disposal. So there we go. That's the Stormspeeder Hailstrike. moving on, we have the Invictor Warsuit. Love the artwork on this one. When an enemy attacks, deal 2 damage to it. Doesn't matter if it's the Warlord. Doesn't matter if it's the Flanker. Doesn't matter which unit it is. The enemy attacks, it immediately receives 2 damage. It reminds me a little bit of the big Necron unit I always wanted to play. The difference is this guy only costs 5. He does have 5 health. He does have 5 range attack and 3 melee. So his stats are a little bit underwhelming, but he has this very unique defensive ability, and it is unique. There isn't really much in the game at the minute that does this, so it's kind of hard to judge how good I think this is going to be. But it's certainly really interesting. The other thing is, does it deal 2 damage before the enemy attacks, or does the enemy get to hit? Like, say the enemy had 2 health, for example, would it still get to deal its or attack or whatever, or would it just die because it only had 2 health and this does? The order of things I'm kind of curious about as well, but what I do like is that it's a very different type of unit, and also I think the Ultramarines have some flexibility in the 5 energy spot as well. So yeah, that's the Invictor Warsuit. Next up, we have the legendary card, the Primarius Tech Marine. Now, this is a legendary card for vehicles, guys. Super excited about this one. I think for 3 energy, the stats are fine. The really most important piece of this is obviously the codex give armor 1 and heal 3 to your vehicles. So the key with this card is that it's very much going to be a tech card, you know, being a tech marine, but you need to obviously time when you play it. So when you play this card, when you've already got a board of, say, a couple of vehicles, or but it is codex, it's not rally, so you can trigger this over multiple turns if, of course, it survives. So really like this. I think this adds a really nice bit of flavor to and it gives us an opportunity again to continue to build these vehicle builds. So that is a Primarius Tech Marine. And last but not least, we've got the Scout Bike. Now, I love this card. For 2 energy, it comes with 3 health and camouflage. And it says when an enemy is deployed, deal 2 damage to it. Now, the reason I like this is that like a flanker, for example, has to be deployed. The only kind of downside to this is something like Swarmlord, something that can kind of just attack from the Warlord and just deal 3 damage. Zephyr Blade is another option I can imagine, or even like, no, Neurothroat wouldn't work because he wouldn't be able to target the ping. Shadow Sun could work. So those units that can basically, where the Warlords can attack for 3 is a bit of a downside. But outside of that, this is a really, this looks to me like a really interesting 2-drop. Really cool. Loving that Scout Bike, and yeah, that's it, guys. So I think overall we got some pretty neat cards. It remains to be seen how exactly these are going to land in the raid. Of course, we'll find out in just a couple of days. If you enjoyed that, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think to these cards, guys. And yeah, I look forward to playing some Ultramarines. See you in the raid.